as it said, it says the program. Which
Yeah,
is
I'm
this.
supposed to speak on diversity in teaching.
Right here.
I know. Okay.
So the question is about that.
Yes.
You can. So I want you to. I prefer you to read this one because otherwise, this is basically what we want to.
Oh, you want me to say this?
No,
Okay.
to speak. This is the question basically.
Okay.
So this is
Okay. How
what we
does it?
want to.
Okay, that's what we're talking about right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a small, like introduction, as I said. So it would be nice for you to maybe give us like some facts and some things that make it more interesting for people to come, because we want to put this in the seminar website. So
Okay.
everybody knows a bit about what we're gonna be talking about.
Okay. Okay.
See, is it okay?
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, so you can ask the questions.
Whenever you want.
Okay. Am I sitting properly?
See, but wait.
Because I'm sitting sideways rather than sitting. I'm not sitting
Maybe
properly.
you should. No, it's not you.
El cosa, sí.
Oh.
Y el pendón, si quieres, lo corres un poquito.
Sí, lo voy a correr, espérate. Dime tú.
Oh, yes. We need that closer.
Que se vea centro.
Centro, sí.
¿Ahí?
Sí, se ve.
¿Se ve?
Sí.
Ya.
My coffee cup isn't in the way, is it?
No se ve.
Okay. So you'll talk to me.
So whenever you want,
You're gonna ask me the question or just speak?
you can just speak. It's okay. We can.
O hácela para que
Okay.
solo
Okay.
tenga el contexto.
Okay. So, yeah.
Yes.
Right? Okay. How does the university world install or take in a more inclusive training considering diversity in the formative development? Taking into account that in Latin America and the Caribbean, the initial basic education still has a long way ahead in this subject, how do systems take charge of these difficulties? Could you please tell us about strategies, the know-how to develop these practices, facts and academic training of teachers, etc.?
Thank you very much for the question. In terms of the universities taking advantage of these opportunities, we have to look at the context. Usually, you look at the mission of the university. So you don't compare institutions because each institution has a different set of stakeholders. So the critical element are your stakeholders and the mission of your institution to be able to advance the lives and the purpose of those stakeholders within your context. So the teachers need to be aware of the mission of the institution, that's number one. And two, they need to be aware of the demographics of the stakeholders that are within their institution, the varying needs, the distance in terms of proximity, because in Latin America, the distances are far from the urban centers. Are you going to use online teaching? Are you going to use MOOCs? What systems are you going to use to quality assure to make sure that these are in fact good quality programs and that they are portable across the world? Because people don't just live in our little towns anymore, they move and they move quickly. They don't want to have to repeat something that you did at home and you go to a new country and they say, well, I don't know what that is. You have to have a system that you can look across the world and recognize the various qualifications, and it's based on the standards. So we look at the standards that are used to develop the curriculum within and the programs within the institution. And then we look at the mission effectiveness of the institution and to see how they're serving the communities that are around them or their online communities. How do they reach the people that they say they wish to target? And how are they meeting those needs? Where do those people end up working? Because that's another important part. You can train and then there's no employment. But if you're training and your training is meeting the demand out there, it shows that you are in fact being mission effective. And so there are many different components of it. The university is no longer just focused on academics. You have different types of universities. You have hybrids that have both the technical vocational and the academic. because the academic and the technical vocational blend when it gets to the associate's degree. So you no longer separate. You have to find a way to quality assure all of the elements. So it will be a very interesting conversation because there's something in it for everybody. There are many different views that will come to the table that can only help to make the conference more interesting and to help to improve the global system so we can move around and begin to understand each other more and enjoy this wonderful world that we live in.
That was so great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
I hope that